Hey guys, welcome to another video, and in this one I'm going to be running through what it is you should be expecting from a coach particularly if you're new to personal training. Okay, so you've decided that you want to get some amazing results, you're not really 100% sure about how to go about it, you've got a reasonable level of education maybe, and you just want to make sure that you can get a coach to guide you from that point A to point B in terms of getting the results. All right, or maybe you have no clue whatsoever, you just know that you want to get results. Either way, there are actually 5 things that you should be looking for from your coach, and we'll run through them today. So the 5 top things that you should look for as far as a good coach / personal trainer are concerned. All right, I think number 1 is going to be the first and foremost, is quite simply results. So you need to make sure that you've got a coach that can deliver results. All right, and they can prove to you that they've got client upon client that have all got an amazing results. And ones not only that in general have gotten great results, but ones that you can actually relate to. So somebody that looks has started their journey looking somewhat similar to where you're at, and then has progressed through to where it is that you would like to be. And if they can do that with multiple people, not just 1 or 2, but multiple clients, then the chances are that they know what they're doing and they know how to adapt things, accordingly, because not everything works for everyone. So that's where you want to make sure that you've got that assurance that you've got a good coach who can get you the results. All right, so that I would determine as being your first and foremost. You need to look at that social proof, so to speak. All right. Number 2, education. Now, this is important because you need to understand the why. Why are you doing what it is that you're doing? Okay. Too often you'll get given the what, right? This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to eat. This is what you need to do. Okay, cool. Why? Because I said so. No, they need to understand the why behind it, and you need to understand the why. When you understand why you're doing something, chances of you complying and actually really putting in 100% are far greater than if you're really not sure about why I'm doing something. Okay, so education along the lines, or along the way I should say, is going to be super important, both in terms of your training. Why are we doing this many sets? Why are we doing this many reps? Why are we changing the program up when we're changing it up? Why we change it to the next program? What are each one of these programs trying to achieve? Okay, why have we gone for this split over something else? So all these sorts of things in terms of your training. Nutrition we can look at and then say, right, well, there's plenty of different nutrition plans out there, and why have I chosen this particular one for you? All right, why is my approach the way it is? And that's something that's going to be super important, because you have to trust in your coach and make sure that you feel like, yes, this person knows how to get me where I want to be. I will therefore stick to the plan and make sure that I trust the process of getting to where I want to be. Sometimes it might be a case where you have to lay a bit of a foundation. So my personal approach is that I will look at pulling you back into structural balance first and make sure that your body feels good, and then from there I can put the hammer down and make sure that we can get you where you want to be without worrying about injuries or anything like that. Okay, likewise with nutrition, I need to make sure that your caloric intake is at the right level first and foremost before I start depleting you. Okay, so a lot of people might come to you and you actually have to reverse diet them out because they've been on chronic diets of just starving themselves, and they'll probably slow their metabolism right down. So looking at different things. I think the 2 most valuable courses that I've done, even more valuable than the exercise science that I studied, was Charles Poliquin's Advanced Programming and Dr. Mark Schass's Biochemical Individuality. Now both courses just highlighted the importance of treating somebody as an individual, whether it's their physiology or their chemistry or what it may be, from different training programs and what would work best for an individual to different nutritional approaches and what would work best for an individual. Okay, and understanding that what might work really well for one person is not necessarily going to work very well for the next. And you need to make sure that, as a coach, I need to make sure that you've got that individual approach. And as a client, you need to make sure that you're not just getting some cookie cutter, handout and making sure that, it is individualized to you. So if you're investing in a coach, making sure that you're being educated along the way is going to be super important. Okay. Next up, you've got motivation. So one thing I like to say is that the training session that you do with your coach should be the best part of your week. All right, those sessions should be just the highlight. It should be a case where that is an hour dedicated to you. From a coaching point of view, it's about knowing how to talk the talk, I suppose you could say. So you want to make sure you can push the buttons. Now, some people will respond to, a bit of a G up. Some people will respond to a soft word. It depends on the individual. And again, knowing their psyche and their psychology and all the rest of it, of what will motivate them, is super important. Okay, so that where I look at motivation is more about in that session. Let's make that session the best part of your day. Let's make you walk away from that session feeling like $1 million. Now, for some people, that $1 million might be, getting absolutely hammered. If they're, quite young and they can handle it and all the rest of it, and they want to, train really, really hard, cool. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to push you as hard as need be. Some people, they don't need to be flogged. It's about making sure that they're just enjoying that thing, training beyond what they'll be able to do by themselves, getting that threshold of training achieved, but at the same time not destroying somebody. It's about stimulating, not annihilating. Okay, so that's a key point when it comes to the motivation. Make sure that they're always wanting to come back and they're always looking forward to their training. Number 4 is inspiration. So whereas motivation was talking the talk, inspiration is walking the walk. You want a coach that when you just knows what they're talking about, that looks like they've done it themselves, it looks like they've walked that journey that you want to go on. So it is a case where if I'm going to get, even for example, a golf professional, I'm not going to go with a golf professional that's just read how to play golf. I want a golf professional to teach me how to play golf that has, got like a scratch handicap themselves. And they obviously know how to do it, because it's one thing to learn out of a book. It's another thing to get in there and actually do it. So from a training point of view, do they know what it's like to have a heavy bar on their back? Do they know what it's like to be super lean? Do they know what it's like to be hungry when you're dieting? Do they know what it's like to have to tweak things up, and when you should, how hard you should push yourself and still be able to enjoy that training session, but still get those results? What is it that you should be feeling? Do they know that themselves in terms of your training? Because a lot of the times they don't. A lot of times, coaches might be putting people through programs that they've never even done, and that's not really acceptable. So you've got to have a coach that, one of the things I'm most proud of is that I've never once given somebody a program that I haven't done myself. So I can not only tell you the science behind the programming, but I can also tell you the art of that programming and the art of that training that goes with that. So what should you feel? How should you feel? When will you be fatiguing? All right, be aware of it. Be aware of what this is going to feel like. They're telling me it's horrible. Yes, I know it's horrible. Okay, I know how this should be feeling, and if I know that when I went through it, I felt like this should be around about when you're going to feel like, providing that you've got a similar sort of, neurotransmitter base or, physiology to myself, and then I can adjust accordingly if I know that you don't. So having a client, or trust you and believe in the process that you're taking through is gold. All right. And that's what you really need, because inspiration again is like making sure that you're inspiring that client, and that will get them doing the work outside the gym. So I had a client today saying, 50% of what I do is for me, but 50% of what I do is for you. And they were saying, I want to make sure I don't let you down as a coach, because I can see the amount of work that you put into everything that I do and how much help that you're giving me, not just in terms of my training, nutrition, but all lifestyle and mindset, and even the relationships that they've got going on. I'll help them in terms of everything I can possibly do. Okay, so that's where you want to make sure that you inspire your clients to be the best they can possibly be. All right, so that's number 4. Number 5 is the accountability. So if you don't keep somebody accountable, right, with constant check-ins and so forth, it doesn't work in your favor as a coach or your favor as a client. So you want to make sure that you know what it is working. You want to make sure that, you know, if it's not working, why? Are they actually doing what it is that you're saying? And if they hand on heart say yes they are, then it maybe needs to be tweaked. All right. I would like check-ins weekly. Not, you know, I don't want to go too long without getting the results that I'm after for my clients. So I like to, you know, when somebody's been really good, is check them and say, right, let's do a little check-in. And it might be just jumping on the scales, depending on who the person is. It might be doing a couple of skin fold sites. You know, it might be doing tape measure. It might be doing photos. Whatever it is, I just want to make sure that we are on the right track. And if we're not, all right, do we need to just go a little bit harder, or do we need to pivot? So again, there's delving in and a few more questions that are involved. Okay, are they being consistent with what it is that you've asked of them? Because remember, consistency is king. All right, it's not much point doing something half-assed. You've got to basically get in there and really stick to the plan of what it is that you're doing. Is it time to pick the volume of work up? Is it time to pull back on the calories? Is it time to change up the nutrition plan? Or is it time to just knuckle down and say, right, we're on a winner here. I know we're on a winner because it's worked for so many other people, but you're deviating here, you're deviating here. Let's be a little bit better in terms of the results that we're after. Okay, so that consistency is going to make the difference, you know, between getting results and not. And the accountability, all right, me checking in on you, is going to make sure that you stay consistent. So that's where I want to check in and see those results. And if we're not, something's got to give. All right. So there are the 5 things that I'd really look for. So number 1 is results. Number 2 is education. Number 3 is motivation. Number 4 is inspiration. Number 5 is accountability. So hopefully that helped. All the best. If you are interested in coaching, yes, I do it online, and I have, you know, do a little bit of in-person still. So reach out, see if I do have some spots available. But yeah, let us know, and we'll, hopefully help you out some more. All right, cheers, guys.